This is the final chapter of my docuseries. The other videos I'm going to do will just be highlights of my stay in the prison itself and what I saw and what I think you need to know in case you end up in prison one day. It can happen to anybody. And I hope you know that in Nigeria, you don't need to commit a crime before the police drags you into prison. I've seen people come to prison just because they didn't have 1 million Naira to bribe police on a tiny little crime. So, in chapter 10, I'm just going to summarize the players of this game. The first thing you need to know was that they dragged an innocent pastor and an innocent journalist into their mess. Pastor Ibiyeomie has nothing to do with the Ojo. Never met her, never knew her. I went to meet with Pastor Ibiyeomie when I came out of prison. I asked Alabo Graham Douglas, who was sort of like my godfather. Alabo took me to see Ibiyeomie, and if you don't know Alabo Graham Douglas, you can Google him. Alabo Tonye Graham Douglas, Abacha minister, Babangida minister, two-time minister, and a big APC chieftain in Bayelsa and Rivers. At the end of the day, we went to Ibiyeomie's office, and it was right before Five Nights in Glory. Five Nights of Glory 2018 was getting ready, so the pastor was technically not in the pulpit on the weekday services and the fasting thing. So he was in what they call, there's a word for it, like seclusion when they're talking to God. So he was in his office that day. We went to the service, and after we went to his office, there was a bunch of guards there, 6 security guards inside that office with Pastor Ibiyeomie and myself, and Alabo Graham Douglas and Ibiyeomie's lawyers, 2 of them. It was carefully arranged. I wanted to meet him. When I met Ibiyeomie, the moment I came in front of him, I knelt down in front of him and I told him to pray for me. When I knelt down, Ibiyeomie laid his hands on me. And this is the very interesting part you need to know. If you're finding a pastor that's going to heal you of any diseases or any problem in your body, there's not a lot. There are some people that are designed for this stuff called faith healing. Ibiyeomie is one of them. Globally. When he put his hands on top of me, I had a headache when I walked in there. My eyes were closed while he was praying. And you know that color you see when your eyes are closed? We call it black, but it's not black. It has another name. I just can't think of it now. I was just seeing like little doves flying around. And my eyes were closed. The moment he placed his hands on me, my headache vanished. I had a migraine. Okay, when I talked about this on TVC, Yeni Kuti said, "Are you sure that's not sorcery?" I said, "No, it's not sorcery. It's real." And suddenly, my headache was gone, and my asthma was also gone. I've had asthma since I was 2 years old. It vanished when Ibiyeomie touched my head. I have not had asthma for 6 going on 7 years. This was January of 2018. 7 years coming up. That's when I knew he was a real man of God. Ibiyeomie prayed for me, and he actually asked me for forgiveness that he locked me up and I went through a lot. And he looked at me in the eyes and said, "Kemi, I don't know Yabo. I don't know her from anywhere. I've never met her, never spoken to her." And he was telling the truth. It's the same thing with Yabo. When I read Yabo's report in the police thing, she's never met him. And she also said she went to Port Harcourt for an AGN event with her daughter, and that was about it for Port Harcourt. But where Yabo got greedy was when Kennedy was doing his stuff. And some of this stuff Ibiyeomie was not even aware of. Paying her not to come to court and things like that. And Yabo was collecting that money and suffering a fellow woman. Bemini is the one in the collage, the first one. Iyabo, the second. Kennedy Okoko, the late Bayelsa billionaire. Pastor Ibiyeomie, and of course the River State Attorney General Aguma Chinwe that died in the hotel room in London. Not that I'm happy that people died, but God is fighting for me, but I went through trauma. This is the Rivers attorney's paper that he filed. Rivers Attorney General Emmanuel Chinwe dead. Channels News, August 10, 2018. This is the paper that he filed. Okay. John Gongo, the officer in here that says is the police officer of CID, blah, 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 blah. This is the guy that worked for Fani Kayode. And Chinwe drafted this stuff. I'm telling you, this whole entire file is inside my house right now. And I'll tell you how it got in my hands. John apologized to me at Fani Kayode's house. But look at what the Attorney General told him to sign on. I saw the draft. Emmanuel Chinwe Aguma. The applicant is not an investigative journalist at all. See language, Nigerian language, at all. Applicant does not receive news tips from members of the public. Imagine a journalist. Of course, you said, I'm not a journalist. Applicant does not believe in God, nor does she fear God. What kind of Attorney General is this? Applicant is in the habit of running down people. It goes on and on. He even said, I'm not a blogger. And John filed all this as the police officer. You see the system in Nigeria? How somebody writes something, another person signs, another person drafts it. This is how they ruin you. He's dead. Kennedy Okoko, on the day he died, his side chick is this lady, Kuku Shea, that sells hairs to all the celebrities in Lekki. She's the one that took him to the killer doctor. Dr. Benedict Olushola has lost his license in Texas for ruining so many people's bodies, shapes, and all. The Texas Medical Board revoked his license permanently. So he packed up his stuff and sold everything. All the dollars he got, he opened a clinic in Lekki, doing the same thing. Liposuction. Look at the death certificate he wrote for Kennedy. He wrote it in pencil. Pencil, imagine. I didn't want to show you this. It's all on the internet, but this is the way Kennedy ended. A disgraceful death. I'm just glad that he actually asked for forgiveness from me. He planned 2 assassinations, one in the courthouse and one outside the courthouse. Some of you remember I went live, and the live videos of those courthouse ones is too deep in my laptop. It was on my TikTok page that they flagged a month ago. Remember they flagged my page September 26th, 190,000. I lost that page. This is the second page, and we're up to 70,000. I found this somewhere in my Google Photos today when I was pairing pictures, looking for all this stuff. It's a screenshot of WhatsApp back in 2018 when I finished talking to Ibiyeomie. You can see Ibiyeomie, oh shit, God bless, our conversation or something. The police prosecutor, Umana, I don't know what I sent him, but all these are the guys that withdrew their cases. And Kennedy Okoko. We don't know why this criminal, I don't know what he wrote, I don't remember. But these are conversations between us. It's been a traumatic time for me. I lost my business. And in 2018, I started Kemi Talks. I've not been where I have to be. By the end of 2018, Davido was calling me a cheap drug user, mad woman, go all your pussy. Davido dragged my brand further down. After Linda Ikeji, it was the Ibiyeomie case and then Davido. I've never recovered. And I don't think I can come back to the journalism I said I was coming back to last week.